되게 시끄러워서 안 되겠다.
유튜브 좋아하자. 여기 찍어주세요. 여기 집에서 찍어주세요.
안 들릴 것 같은데 하나도?
옆에 도와줘. 한 명 옆에서 질문하면 옆에서 녹음하니까.
We are from Myeong Middle School and they are great makers.
Yes.
Each of them has a question for you.
Okay.
Can you make it?
The music there.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
hear it.
Let's start with Juno.
Okay.
I'll ask you. What do you think to make it?
Well, I think it's pretty simple. If anyone has an idea of what to make and tries to actually make it, makes it real.
Then another question. Why do you make the maker of the purpose? What's
your
purpose of the maker?
Well, I think there's a wide range of purposes. Sometimes it's just to become better at making, right? Sometimes it can be, because you have an idea of like a problem to solve, or you want to express yourself in bring some idea to life. Sometimes you want to help other people solve their problems. Sometimes you want to make a living doing this and learn how to, maybe become an engineer, an artist, or a designer, or a wide range of things. What's kind of cool is makers are all those things. Okay, thank you.
Just no more questions? Hurry up.
들어와.
질문 많은 사람 빨리 해.
어?
준호한테 있다고.
나 한국말로 물어보면 돼. 선생님 통역을.
일로 와 뭐해?
하이.
처음에 어떤 무슨 생각으로
했어. 했어.
What'd you say?
Same question. He's asking the same question.
He's what?
He's asking the same question.
Oh, what is a maker?
Why do you make this?
Oh, why do I make the MakerFaire?
Yeah.
지금 하나밖에 없었어? 나와.
He tried to say. 대답하시면.
한국어
하시면 돼. 지금까지 봤었던 메이커 중에서 가장 기억에 남는 메이커가 있나요? Which was the most memorable maker?
Well, usually the last one I saw, they're all really cool here. I don't necessarily have one thing or the other that I remember, but the idea is the feeling here and seeing lots of people enjoying this, the fact that you're here and come to see this, and I hope it inspires people to go away and make something that they come up with that they believe is important and belongs in the world. Okay?
I know that you heard this kind of question many times.
All right.
But what's the purpose of the MakerFaire? Why do you make this fair?
Well, I think it's one to foster this growth of maker culture as opposed to consumer culture. So I want to literally create more makers and to inspire them to do things in their own lives that they find satisfying and rewarding and contribute, I think, to making a better world.
So can I even be the maker, right?
Yes, everybody.
We can
all be makers.
the makers, right?
Yes.
I saw your TED
Yeah.
lecture. It was awesome.
So it's just a way of seeing yourself and seeing that you can participate and contribute rather than just sort of consume the world, right?
Thank you
very much. Appreciate it. Good. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thanks for being. Oh, yeah, one more? Come on. Hi. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Good. 한국말로 해도 돼.
웬만하면 영어로.
Why do you make? 아 지금 방금 했어.
똑같아요.
근데 제일 어려운 게 보이지 않고.
Well, let me ask you. Do you know that there's a MakerFaire in Seoul next weekend?
Yes.
Good. I hope you go there. All right.
Was planned.
Because only a few of you could come here, but I hope many of you will go there. Next week?
Can I ask you, what was the most difficult thing while you are running this program?
Starting MakerFaire, you mean? Well, I think initially people didn't know what I meant by like a maker and MakerFaire. And to some degree, it's hard to put into words what happens here. So you have to come and experience it. And but I think it's, people feel happy here. They see the creative side of so many different people. And I think that's what this is about, really, is that we all have that in us, and we can develop it and nurture it and grow it. And we should especially see that in children and encourage that, because I don't think a lot of our broader culture does that. So I think we are in some ways different than a lot of things out there, and explaining that to people is sometimes a challenge. But the other kind of challenge I think has been, can I get this more into their lives outside of the event? Can you learn to make things in school or in your community? And sometimes I know in Korea, you're teaching to the test and memorization and rote learning. It's not real learning, right? This is real learning, and it stimulates kids to participate in this. And I think it's building a skill set and a mindset for the future that will create a better future for all of us. Okay? All right, thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here. Oh, one more question.
This is similar question. What do you think of a maker education?
Yeah.
Maker education.
Right.
In Korea.
Well, I don't know if it's specific, but all right, my goal is to get more kids learning how to make. Not necessarily more people teaching this, per se. Kids can learn how to use technology a lot, right? And create things with it, have projects. I hope that this is a different way of not just bringing making into school, but actually changing the experience of school, the experience of learning, so that it's more engaging, more real, relevant, and you know, really encompasses more of the skills and talents that a lot of people have. So this idea of maker-centered learning means to be centered on the student, on their interests and their own growth and development, not on, you know, what the curriculum is or what the standard is and that. So I hope we can overturn things like rote learning as a huge waste of time. You know, we have computers that do rote learning. We don't need to. People can use their creative brain to make things and figure out problems that are worth solving. So that's the future of this education. Whether it happens in school or in their lives outside of school, and you know, it needs to happen their entire life, not just when they're 18. Right? Yeah.
So while we're making something, the education is here automatically, right?
Well, I'd say, you know, it's a lot of, you know, I use an analogy to sports, right? You know, you don't study sport, you play it, right? And I think this, like science and technology, you just try to apply it, and that's the learning.
Just doing that.
Right. Now, there's conceptual learning too, and there's other things, but we tend to just stay in the abstract layer around this when we're teaching, and what if we get down to this real level of practical stuff, and then we begin to understand the context. We have questions we can't answer from our own experience, and that leads us into understanding theory. But understanding theory on itself isn't that actually useful. It's not bad for testing, but that's the end of the game. So, you know, that's what's interesting to me here is it's not what you know today, it's actually what you can do with what you know. And when you do stuff, you want to know more.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So kids are wired to learn, but they're not actually wired to be taught the way that we want to teach them. Like sit down and listen and take notes and then tell us what you remember from that. That seems like patently absurd. And what I say, when we give them the freedom and we trust in their own ability to create and make, they surprise us, and that's what you see here. Someone once said, why can't school be like MakerFaire? Which I think is a good thing. Why can't it feel this way? Why can't it look this way? Because we're full of people there that all do creative, fun things. And I see it in your faces and the faces of your students. So you just gotta
I will try.
Keep promoting that. You know.
We will try.
Okay. All right.
Your thinking is your thinking learning more important more important than teaching.
Yes. All right. Schools have been organized around teaching,
Yes, but
not about learning.
but
So we have to ask that basic question: what does learning look like for the student?
okay.
Right? And how do you create a culture, an environment for that kind of learning? Honestly, you know, I mean, obviously school's designed to be a content delivery system, right? But content is easily accessible today in all kinds of formats and levels and everything. So it's like, well, what creates the demand for that knowledge, right? What creates the reason that context for that? And it's often, you know, start with yourself. Start with what you want to do and build on those interests and move forward. The real interest I have ultimately is our school systems are kind of designed to identify a few people and promote them as the good students, the good learners. And yet, what about everybody else, right? And how can we take them? Those are the makers that I think I care about. What can they do? Look around here. This is what they can do. Right?
They had low grade.
Yeah, yeah. But that's maybe a good sign, right? Right? In a perverse
agree.
way.
But they are surprising.
All right, I'm gonna move on. I gotta get on.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad to see you in Seoul and reconnect to you here. Thank you. Thank
You
you.
will coming to
all.
Korea
Huh?
next week? You will come?
Oh,
to
no,
Korea?
I won't be
okay.
there.
I see. Okay.
I'm still getting over the jet lag. You guys look great. Thank you.
See you next.
All right, bye bye.
See you next MakerFaire.
Bye.
See you next time.
Thank you.